I talk to students on a regular basis, some of whom are in different stages, but every other day I talk to a black millionaire who literally worked consistently, invested consistently over a 20 or 30-year period, and was sitting on over $1 million in wealth. So don't you dare tell me that the only black people that can get ahead financially are the rappers and the athletes and all that. In fact, many of them are struggling because it's all an illusion. It's all a big fat lie. All right. So anyway, let me read some of this to you. This is from Dirty Little Secrets, Dr. Claude Anderson's book. His website is powernomics.com. I hope you'll go and support him. He deserves our support. I just found out that his new film, Justin Irvin is doing this film, and I was in it. They're going to show this at Invest Fest, which I think is remarkable. I'm really proud of those guys for showing that film. The All Black National Convention will be down the street from Invest Fest, so I'll probably walk over there and support. Last year they had D1 there, who's like a family member for me, and so I was happy to go see him. So they're doing a lot of the right things, and so powernomics.com is his website, and so let me start reading here. I'm going to open up the book to page 154, and this is Dirty Little Secrets. And here's what he says. He says, this is called The Railroad Conductor Finds Lost Brother. In 1850, two separate brothers of slave parents found each other in the office of the Philadelphia Anti-Slavery Society, a major depot for the Underground Railroad. William Still was working as a clerk and conductor in the Philadelphia office when Peter, a newly freed slave, walked in and requested assistance in locating his lost parents. Peter explained to Still, the clerk, how he would still be a slave in the South had not a kind white man taken an interest in him and purchased his freedom from a wretched Alabama slaveholder. Now that he was a free man, Peter said he was committed to finding his parents, Levin and Sidney, who had escaped from slavery years earlier but were forced to leave him behind. Wow, that's crazy, right? Um, so Peter expressed the love that he still felt for his parents. As Peter described his parents, Still was impressed because the parents' descriptions were so much like his own parents. By the end of Peter's story, Still knew that Peter's parents were also his parents, and Peter was a brother that he never knew existed. At the end of Peter's story, Still joyously announced that he knew where the lost parents were because they were lost brothers. The Underground Railroad had done its job. It had brought together lost brothers and lost parents into a happy family at last. Well, that's really touching. That's amazing. I never knew about that. All right, so let's see here. Let's look at this. Okay, a runaway couple passes to freedom. One of the boldest escapes planned by black slaves was that of William and Ellen Craft, a slave couple from Macon, Georgia. William, a skilled cabinet maker, took advantage of his white master's rent a slave policy that allowed him to hire himself out for odd jobs. But unlike most slaves who sought to earn money to buy their freedom, William saved his money for an escape plan he had devised for his wife Ellen and himself. The couple used the money to purchase common male clothing for Ellen, a light skinned quadroon who was to assume the role of an ailing slave owner going north for medical treatment. Interesting, right? Since Ellen could not read or write, she pretended to be hard of hearing so no one would converse with her. And she wore her right arm in a sling so she would not be asked to sign a hotel or steamboat register. William, a dark skinned black, played the role of a loyal and faithful servant, traveling as an aide to his invalid white master. For 5 days, the couple traveled through slave states, always in first class style, as would be expected of a prosperous planter. Finally, as their train pulled out of Baltimore and crossed the Mason Dixon line, the couple openly danced and jumped for joy that their plan had worked. Their slavery days were over. This is wild. Wow. This is called the Underground Railroad question mark. Black slaves began escaping from their masters as soon as slavery was formally established in America. Unassisted escaping slaves, commonly called runaways, maroons, or fugitives, did not have pre-established path to freedom. They generally headed out in any direction they believed would lead them away from their master's land. Escape routes typically led west, south, and north, or any combination of these directions determined mostly by the runaway's ability to obtain food, shelter, and security.